Hello everyone, welcome to channel Ch.Yasu. As usual, today we have a very special guest. So this time the guest is from Spain, actually. So I'm pretty much honored to welcome a very distinguished guest, Mr. Franz Heukamp. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yes.
Okay, Heukamp. He's a dean of the world-renowned business school in Spain, IESE, and he's a leading expert in the science of decision making. So, welcome, Franz. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Higuchi-san.
So, briefly introducing Franz. He joined IESE Business School after earning his PhD in mechanics engineering from the MIT in the US, and he has served as a dean since 2016, providing visionary leadership to the institution. So under his leadership, IESE has risen to the very top tier of global business schools, including being ranked number 3 in the world for MBA programs in 2025 by the Financial Times. So at the same time, the school has significantly expanded its international presence through new academic partnerships and global programs. So we are truly privileged to have him on my program. So thank you for coming over again. So, first question is about IESE Business School. Could you briefly explain about what kind of business school is that and the characteristics and etc.? And I guess you have also Japanese students. How many Japanese students do you have, etc.?
Thank you. Thank you, Higuchi-san, for having me on this famous channel, Ch.Yasu.
Very famous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a true honor. I know it's a very important way of communication that you have inside your organization, and there's also many people from outside of Panasonic that are following. It's always a true honor, and thank you for introducing me with on such a positive note. Yes, I'm the dean of IESE Business School, and IESE Business School has been around since the late 1950s. As you mentioned, I'm coming from Spain, even though I'm originally was personally born in Germany. And we started in Barcelona, a city that is well known also in Japan. Many people know the attractions of Barcelona between architecture, Sagrada Familia. There's actually two famous football clubs, and there's a famous business school.
Of course.
That's IESE precisely, and we have grown since the late 50s. To also have a further campus network. So we today actually have 5 campuses.
5 campuses.
Other than Barcelona, also in Madrid, in the capital of Spain, in New York, in Sao Paulo, in Munich, Germany. And then we have a long history also of working in China, in Shanghai, also with the business school that we helped support there. So
I cannot imagine how you manage. You're able to manage these different locations.
Yes, well, there are very good people in all these different places. So
Barcelona campus is the primary, biggest.
Is the original campus. It's today also the biggest campus, and it's very much characterized also by the full-time MBA program that you asked about. So the full-time MBA was actually started in 1964. That was one of the first full-time MBAs in Europe. So a very early adopter of the idea. In fact, it was started in the design phase with the help also of 3 Harvard professors that helped set up the curriculum with our colleagues in Barcelona at the time. So it's a 2-year MBA program, and it's today has 420 students each year.
Wow, not small.
Yes, from a little over 60, sometimes 70 countries. So it's very international in the makeup. And we also, you mentioned Japanese. We have from Japan typically between 10 and 20 students each year. So we have also a good number.
10 to 20.
So yeah, it varies a little bit. So on average, 15 more or less each year. So it's a significant group also of Japanese students that we have. And
so first of all, Barcelona is the second largest city in Spain after Madrid.
Yes.
Okay.
have to measure it in terms of population, exactly. And it's been historically a very important center also of business. A lot of Barcelona region has been very pioneering in Spain in terms of companies, mid-sized, family-owned, then larger companies. And we've been part of that. So as a business school, we work with master students, so MBA, Master in Management, and then we also work quite a bit with senior executives, both in Spain but also internationally, also here in Japan precisely. So we also have, other than the campuses, we have a couple of offices also. So since 2013, we also have an office in Tokyo.
You have
we have
in
an
Tokyo?
office, a small office in Tokyo. Yes, we have a small office in Singapore as well, and in Hong Kong. So
pretty international.
So we work with organizations in developing their talent. That can be younger talent, MBA programs, for example. That can be also already very senior talent. So we work all the way up to CEO programs, so where we help current CEOs or branch CEOs to develop themselves further. Support also in organization succession planning, so questions of who should be next to access the management committees, etc.
So now I guess the both students and faculty are pretty much diverse, right?
Right.
But in the beginning, you started with pretty much Spain-oriented or Europe-oriented students and faculties. Is that right?
Yes. So in the late 1950s, early 1960s, when you start in a local fashion. So with people who are from there, and it's of course something you have an institutional development that runs in parallel to how the world also develops. So the world is today, much more connected. There's much more mobility also. So today we have 125 faculty members from a little over 30 countries.
30 countries.
And you're right. So that has been a transition over the years.
How much percent of the students are from Europe?
So from Europe, we have about a third, slightly over a third of the students. Yes. So we have roughly 10% coming from Spain, so the home country. 90% from abroad, outside of Spain, and we have about 1/3 more or less coming from Europe. We have more or less 25% coming from Asia. So Japan is an important group. China, Southeast Asia, India as well. So that's also an important group for us. Then we have the Americas, of course, as well. So both North America, South America. We start to have more students also from Africa, some from the Middle East. So a very international. All in all, a little over 60, sometimes 70 countries that our participants are coming from. And the part of the value proposition precisely of the MBA is coming to a place where you learn how to work with the people from all over the world. And we are structuring the program. I mentioned we have 6 groups of 70 students, and then in each group of 70 we have teams of 8 or 9. So throughout the entire first year you work with those 8-9 people to prepare classes, cases every day. And they are all from different countries, from different professional backgrounds, from different academic backgrounds. So we maximize the differences in that group, so you can really take advantage on learning from the other people, how they think, how they do things, and everyone then also has something to learn from the others and something to bring to the table.
So you said you have on average 15 or so Japanese students. So I want to ask about Japanese students. I guess they are a little bit shy, more shy than other students, and not necessarily good at the public speaking. So I was struggling at the business school. I mean, in terms of engaging with other students. So is that the case for your Japanese students?
So I obviously cultural patterns matter. In general, in the Japanese students tend to be a little bit more self-restrained, are not the first to speak up in public or in team meetings. However, they have evolved quite a bit over the years also. So I've been now almost 25 years with the school, so it's quite different the Japanese students that we get today from 25 years ago, I would say. So you also see a development. They have more experience. They have more already international view. They have been exposed in their own organizations also to different communication styles. But you're right, there is obviously a sort of a basic pattern. And part of the program and the interest, I would say also for in general, for everyone, is that you learn the other ways of doing things, and that can be in communication. So I think people who tend to be shy in the beginning precisely learn how to move further into more active, participating people. And you also have the people who are naturally very communicative, and they learn how to listen better, because that's there are always two sides to it. No, there's speaking, there's listening, and if the balance isn't right, then there is a
the more open you can be, the more efficient your learning process will be. Is that right?
Yeah, you need to. Well, I mean, the learning process consists of different things. It's communicating, but it's also reflection. So you need to get the balance right between how much you say, how much you listen to. And if you're in a team of 8 or 9, a priori, if more or less the communication is evenly distributed, that means you will be listening much more than talking. And that's part of the learning process.
So the other question I had is, now everybody is talking about AI. So I was wondering if you use AI as a tool to optimize teaching process or back-end operation process or anything at business school. So that's the first question regarding AI.
Yes, you're right. So AI is everywhere right now. Every discussion, every conversation, it's there because it's very fast evolving in different ways. And as educational institutions, I think we have the privilege to be in a place where we can study it, we can very actively be part of that discussion. And what we're seeing right now is, of course, AI changes some of the contents, because when we are in the leadership development context, leaders need to know about it, so our contents will be adapted. But then there's also the learning process that you mentioned. So how does the learning process adapt? And I think in a nutshell, we are still in the learning phase. I think nobody knows at this point exactly how it's going to play out. There are some things we already see that are happening. If you think about a very basic learning model, how learning happens, you could say, well, you have an experience, something is happening that may strike you because it's different from what you expected to happen. Then you reflect on why this is happening and how you should adapt your view of reality, your mental model, and with the new mental model, you again have experiences. And if you think about the reflection process, I think it's quite clear that the depth of that reflection process will, in some cases, be probably enhanced by AI. For example, if you can process more information more quickly, so you have more information at your disposal. But it may also be harmed because maybe your reflection is not as deep, because you haven't really thought it through, because you just get some summary, some kind of summary of a text or a video presented to you, and you haven't really thought this through. So we are right now looking at how the process can be enhanced, and how do you avoid falling into the trap of doing very quickly things but actually not really learning. But it's work in process. Work in progress, and the MBA right now is precisely in a very upfront way putting this on the table and say every course has its own AI guidelines, where you discuss beforehand how are we going to use AI in this course, in a very transparent way, because we precisely want to learn all together of what is the right way of using it.
I see. So I guess some students use AI to make a report or something. So sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not bad.
We generally encourage it to use it, because our students need to be good users of technology that's available. But there are also moments when we say, in this specific task, do not use AI, because it will harm you. It will harm your learning process. Exactly.
I see. Yeah, we in the business situation, we use AI as much as possible to increase the productivity. But as a learning process, if you skip everything which can be done by AI, that's not necessarily good for learning process. Is that?
Yeah,
is that
it's again, we have to differentiate. So there are some cases where we already know it's going to be harmful in the sense that you will not be getting to the depth of the learning process. In other situations, it will actually help the learning process. Getting the balance right, distinguishing, that's going to be that's the hard part.
Yeah, as you said, it's a work in progress. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so you are specialized in decision making, leadership and decision making, right? So your approach is pretty much analytical approach. But at the end of the day, in the business situation, you have to be able to make a bold decision with courage, right? Sometimes. I mean, in typical Japanese traditional companies, leaders tend to delay, postpone the decision, keep postponing the decision, and the speed is harmed in a big way. So I was wondering, decision-making capability to be able to make bold decision, is that something you can teach, or something students can learn at school?
I think you can help people get better at it, more conscious at it, understanding the different ingredients of that process, the risks in it, the pitfalls maybe. I would say so, yes. I think there is, for a decision, there is a part for the more analytical component, to just understand really what is the decision all about. Just understand the specific elements and also the risks, understand the trade-offs that you need to make depending on the alternatives that you choose. But there's also the question of vision, of seeing something, of wanting to create a vision, and that also requires then indeed the fortitude, the courage to do something maybe that not everyone would be doing, because a decision, specifically a truly entrepreneurial decision, is a decision that is not just a question on paper, but that fundamentally touches upon yourself. As a decision maker, you are involved. You are the person who is carrying the weight of responsibility. Maybe you are even carrying for some time the weight of people considering you having made a mistake. There is social pressure. There is tensions maybe among the leadership team that you create. Those are all ingredients precisely of leadership. So where decision making and leadership connect, and where it becomes personal in the sense of who you are, who you want to be, and the kind of reality you want to create. And Japan has had and has many very important entrepreneurs. Panasonic is such a successful company because it was set up in a way and led by people who had a vision and who would see things that not everyone else was seeing. So that's, I think that's the challenge, the task. And at the same time, not falling into the trap of saying, okay, I see it, so I will just do it. You also have to own your decision and the consequences of it, etc. No? And the danger, I guess, lies in successful organizations when they become big, that they become bureaucratic.
Right.
And a bureaucracy has its own logic.
Right.
Where often not doing anything is the best thing to do from the perspective of the bureaucracy.
Right.
And again, I think it's there then the responsibility of the senior leaders to make sure that people don't settle for that they are in a good way uncomfortable. And
especially when the culture is pretty monotonous. It's one culture. In some cases, everybody was wrong. Is wrong. So in that sense, at your business school, you emphasize the diversity or diverse environment is very important for decision making. I think that's right.
Yes, you want diversity of thought. You want people with different ideas, at the same time with the ability to work together. And if you have different ideas and you have mechanisms to get those ideas out into the open, and you have ways to empower people to actually act upon those different ideas, then good things happen indeed. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So switching to a more personal or non-business topics. So this time, I'm interested in knowing that how long is your stay this time in Japan?
I've been for a week, so I have a week-long trip
And
here.
how often do you come to Japan?
So I've been coming in the past few years since I became dean about once a year.
Once a
on some
year?
occasions twice. So I think it's my 15th time
15th time
to Japan. I think yes, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And I've been able also to see. It's typically a business trip. So I meet with the alumni that we have in Tokyo. In other parts of Japan also, and of course with business
you
leaders
invited
like you
to your
exactly
one of the reunions.
Last year you were a speaker exactly for our alumni, and then I meet also the senior leaders of organizations that we work with here in Japan and
business people,
other business people.
Any politicians do you meet?
No, not so much. Not so much. No. So really people that are interested in reflecting to discussing how they can develop their leaders further and
do you sometimes
see us as a partner.
Have a free time to enjoy in Japan?
So I try to make a little bit of time and whenever possible. So this time before I started the business part, I had the opportunity to do a little bit of skiing in Hokkaido.
Skiing, Hokkaido.
Yes, in Hokkaido.
Wow, you did.
Yes.
How was that?
Very nice, very nice, very nice. World famous powder snow. So. And it is as good as people say.
I never skied in Hokkaido, but many people.
You should.
Yeah, tells me the quality of snow is really good in Hokkaido.
Yes. Yes. Very light powder, very light, very fine powder. Yes.
You don't have any snow in Spain, right?
We do, of course, we do. We have high mountains in Spain as well, of more than 3,000 meters, both in the north, the Pyrenees, but also in the south, the Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada means actually snown. So
oh really?
So it refers to precisely the. So you can ski very well.
My image
also
around Spain is flamenco and very hot beach and fish, seafood.
Yeah,
that kind of
all
image.
of that is there, and there's also
snow.
And winter sports and
sounds like
all
very
kinds of
nice
different things.
Country.
Yeah. It's I mean it's one of the biggest destinations worldwide for visitors. So Spain is among the top 3 destinations in the world for tourists. So very because of the variety and the high quality of the experiences. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So time is running up. The questions I had is going back to the topic of business school. Once students graduate from the business school, in the past they tend to get a job from consulting firms and investment banking, and only some people, got a job from startups companies. So what are the trends these days for graduates in terms of after MBA job?
Yes, so there is a little bit more variety from the time when you graduated from business school, maybe.
Long time ago.
So the consulting is still an important element because MBA talent is very valuable for consultants because of the breadth of view that MBAs have after the program, and at the same time their ability to go deep very quickly in an area. So they're very there's a very good fit with consultants. So consulting still it continues to be a very important recruiter as an industry of different types, and globally it's also a very globalized industry, and it's also a way, of course, to continue to learn. In the end, a consulting firm is also a school because you meet clients from projects, different sectors, different types of. So it's a very natural way for MBAs to work. The financial industry, specifically investment bank, that you say, over the years has relied internally more on talent that they recruit at an earlier stage. So younger students. So we encounter them now more in programs for younger graduates. We also have a more junior master program we call Master Management. That's where you encounter them, and not so much at the MBA level at this point. There still continue to be some, but not as many. There are other parts, though, of the financial industry that you see, because the financial industry is also very much diversified. You have different types of payment system companies, etc., fintechs that are interested. And then, indeed, also you see, of course, classical industry, that is interested. They tend to come and hire one or two or maybe three students, so they don't do large groups of students. And they used to have in the past some special rotation programs in their organizations, specifically designed for MBAs. Now the hirings are more targeted to a specific position, so the MBA student already needs to have some experience that makes them the right fit for that position. But because also recruiting has globalized, so there's a lot of companies that then have 1, 2, 3 students that they're hiring, and then there's indeed also the startup part.
Of course,
both hiring MBAs. So where as an existing startup is hiring MBAs, and you also have some students who themselves start their own companies. And there's an interesting phenomenon, and that's the last. Maybe it's an MBA student who tries to be an entrepreneur through acquisition. So those are called search funds. So where as an MBA you spend the first year to search for a right company that you can, with the help of investors that have sponsored you while you were searching the first 1-2 years, invest in a company, typically a small company, and then you becomes the CEO, general manager of that organization and runs that company. I think quite relevant actually also in Japan, because for many organizations they struggle to find successors. When their founders already aged, and these young MBAs can be successors in the right way. So.
Okay. So last question is about Japan. Japan used to be quite economically powerful, and automotive, electronics, and everything. Panasonic is one example, and losing its competitiveness year by year. So I think now we need to learn about strategy, how to compete in the market. Without strategy, it's too risky. So on the other hand, there are not many business schools where you can learn strategy. So I would like to have your honest, frank opinion about Japan's around strategy. I'd like to hear about your thought.
Yeah, so
the Germany is
it's a similar case. Exactly. I'm originally from Germany. That's right. Germany is struggling to remain its competitiveness, and maybe in Japan that has started earlier than in Germany. So you have a head start. You already have some more years of experience. So I think the first thing to take into account or to notice is that this is happening because of past success. So the past success has been there, and then of course people other countries, other economies want to catch up. They imitate you. They come from behind. They maybe have lower cost base. They maybe are also more hungry at some point for success. And then of course at the same time technology changes. So they are early adopters of new technology, which all of a sudden jumps ahead in some cases of the established players. I think that's true for Japan to some extent. That's true probably also for Germany. To some extent. No? And you're right. What you need then is in a context where you cannot create advantage simply based on the product. You used to be much better. Panasonic products would be way ahead of the competition in the world, or of some other organizations, both in Japan, also in other countries. Now a lot of technology is widely available, and others will be competing with you. And you're right, you need better strategic thinking,
business models,
to look at what new business models can you create. That means you're creating more value, therefore you will also be more successful. And I would argue also there is a good part also on execution, though, on strategic execution, and on leadership. So what I have observed, we've been working also in Germany now for 20 years, and what I have observed over those past 20 years, for example, and I think it's somewhat similar also in Japan, is that there was in the organizations a lot of focus on product, on technical superiority, and which was the key to success for a long time. But at some point, that is not enough. at some point you also have to think about, okay, how do I create a really successful brand? How do I create the kind of experiences that people want to be part of?
Right.
And how do I also then have the leadership capabilities that means you can, with a team, a global team, actually be faster, be executing better than the competition.
Very challenging job, but
that's exactly right. Yes.
Okay, so Franz, thank you so much. You gave us a very thoughtful insights and told us very interesting stories about your school and business. So thank you so much for coming over to join our program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.